Hey Jenny, so I wanted to go over a few things, including your food logs, a couple of those, and some overall stats and accomplishments. So, sort of a recap of everything thus far. So, honestly, you have done really good with your macros. And I know you have a lot of previous experience and knowledge and being familiar with a lot of things, which does truly help in this training process. So honestly, the things that are going to be really pivotal and helpful are accountability tasks, making sure, sometimes we get into a low momentum type of state and then we start to decrease our workouts and we just get in kind of a rut, and making sure that we're being more consistent, doing the opposite of that. But gaining more knowledge on changing your body composition and maybe some daily personal development routine, habitual type things, which will help, but also staying positive and realizing that there are highs and lows within the process of making progress. But overall, great job. Your macros are really good. So being around 2,000 calories is perfect. You're in a slight deficit. You shouldn't be feeling super duper hungry or super duper full. You should be pretty content. But let me know on average how you are feeling. If you are if there's certain points in the day where you're truly starving, or overall if you're hungry, like too hungry, like actually hungry, or content. So your weight and your measurements are going down, which is awesome. This is a slow and steady, safe pace. It's perfect. And you have done most of your workouts and doing really good with adding in more movement. Daily movement is so important. Even if it's just getting in adequate steps or doing your bike a couple days a week, that makes a huge difference overall. So great job. We're on a good path. So I just wanted to go over this particular food log because honestly, your macros are really good. You're hitting enough protein. Some days your carbs are a little low, but that's okay. If you don't want to add any more in, that's totally fine. You can actually think about it this way. If your carbs are around 100, 115 grams for the day, think of it as you're just adding in more calories into your fats, and you're hitting the calorie mark that you should. So if your carbs were over and your fats were over, obviously you would be over, excessively over calories. But if your fats are a little bit over and your carbs are under, it equals out. So it's just fine. So this particular day, this past Sunday, carbs were great, protein was great, your overall calories were good. The only thing you could have done is honestly maybe done about 6 ounces of the steak instead of 8, but you were still good with your macros because your carbs weren't over, excessively over. They're actually a little bit under, and your fats were just a little bit over. So actually it's good. But if you wanted to lower your fat intake a little bit that day, that's the only tip I have for you. So eventually your workouts are going to slowly increase with the intensity. And what I mean is, slowly I'm going to start adding in one squat based move or lunge based move, little by little, because the more we build up those little muscles around that knee, especially in our glutes and in our quads and in our core and back, the more stability and balance and control we're going to have with performing the squat and lunge based moves. And you're going to have better form, you're going to have better control and balance, and execute the actual moves how they should be done without creating any risk for injury. So slowly I'm going to add those in. Not quite yet, because even if a workout doesn't feel too intense or that you're not too sore from it, it's okay, because you're still working your muscles, you're still getting a good workout, and eventually it's going to get a little bit harder as we go. So you're on a good path with that. But let me know how your knees are feeling overall, like and your overall body, if anything is feeling actual pain when you're doing some sort of move, or afterwards, like your shoulders or knees, hip, ankles, anything. And then this is just a little food for thought at the bottom. So a lot of times I see people who have goals, and what they normally do is they are in a deep calorie deficit trying to lose weight, and they're doing a lot of excessive cardio, and they're doing minimal lifting inconsistently and barely at all. And within their macros, or within their calories, their macros are off, their protein is really low. So that would be the person on the left who is creating weight loss, but they're not creating sustainable long-term fat loss, which is on the right, where your body composition is different. It's more toned. It has more muscle built on your foundation, on your body, and you're eating in a slight calorie deficit, nothing major, very comfortable, slight deficit, a little bit down, lower than your maintenance intake. You're doing moderate cardio, and you're really focusing on 3 solid lifting days during the week, and your macros are on point. Your ratios of your protein and carbs and fats are where they should be within your calorie bracket. So that's the difference of what we're trying to achieve, and what I typically have to shift people over into doing slowly but surely on the right. This person on the right is the goal. But overall, great job. I'm not just saying that. You have a positive attitude. You're turning in your check-ins. And all these little things make a difference with how we feel, with feeling proud, accomplished, achieving things little by little. Slow and steady wins the race. And I think the only other thing I wanted to add in was to make sure you're doing the measurements and pictures every other Monday. And I know it gets kind of boring and it's not the fun part of anything, but it is very insightful to see the differences on your body, because we don't realize it when we see ourselves every day. So it's very eye-opening to see if things are changing or aren't changing. So in every scenario. But yeah, that's it. I'm going to send over your next training module also. So I'm going to give you these things right now to focus on for the next week. And then, then we'll touch base soon. So let me know if you have any questions, and we'll talk soon.